You must be wondering, how does this happen? This happens because of atmospheric pressure. Hi, we are the subatomic particles and we'll be talking about atmospheric pressure today.
Hi, my name is Nazim.
Hi, my name is Mariam.
And my name is Zunnur.
What is atmospheric pressure and what causes it to happen? Atmospheric pressure or air pressure is a force in an area pushed against a surface by the weight of the atmosphere of Earth. The formula to count atmospheric pressure is P equals to rho times G times H, where rho is the density of the fluid, typically air for atmospheric pressure. Meanwhile, G is the acceleration due to gravity, and H is the height of the column of fluid above the point where the pressure is being measured. To understand atmospheric pressure in our daily lives, we can refer to our own respiratory system. We're going to journey back into the 13th century. Ibn al-Nafis improved theory of the respiratory system from Ghalib theory. Ibn al-Nafis was born in Damascus in year 1213 and studied in the Medical College Hospital in Damascus. Here is a brief example of how atmospheric pressure is in the respiratory system.
This diagram shows the component of the respiratory system. The balloon at the bottom acts like the diaphragm. When we pull it, it creates low pressure in the container, causing the balloons to act as the lungs to inflate and simulate inhalation. When you release, the diaphragm compresses, creating high pressure to push the air out of the balloon, simulating exhalation.
When we inhale, muscles like the diaphragm and intercostal muscles contract. This expands the chest cavity, lowering air pressure inside the lungs, so higher air pressure outside forces air to enter our lungs. Meanwhile, when we exhale, these muscles relax, reducing the chest cavity size. This increases air pressure inside the lungs, pushing air out.
Mariam, I have a question. Does the surface area affect air pressure acting on something?
To answer your question, you can test that out by carrying out a simple experiment. All you need is a long wooden ruler and some newspaper. Place half the ruler on a flat surface or a table and drop an object onto the ruler. You can see that the ruler falls off the table. Now, place some newspaper on the ruler and again, drop an object onto it. See, the ruler stays in place without falling. Without anything, there is some air pushing the ruler down, but not a lot to counteract our downward force. So, if we put a newspaper on top of the ruler, we increase the surface area over which the air pushes down. Now, when we drop an object on the ruler, the air pressure traps the ruler down. Atmospheric pressure can also be demonstrated through an experiment where we can crush a can with air pressure. What you need is an empty can, a little bit of hot water, and a container of ice water. First of all, simply pour in some hot water into the empty can and heat it on the stove. After it starts to boil, pick up the can carefully and quickly flip it into the ice water. You can see that the can collapses. Water vapor will precipitate. It will condense, then pressure will drop, and then high pressure on the outside and then low pressure on the inside. Then the difference in pressure will collapse the can. Did you know in 2023 a submersible went deep in the ocean? The water pressure got really high, and this pressure caused things to break or malfunction, leading to the implosion of the submersible. So, the intense pressure at great depths put a lot of stress on the submersible, causing potential issues that could result in an implosion. These experiments proves that there is a huge atmospheric pressure that exerts on everything on the surface of the Earth.